Hey guys, Dissection of Violence here. Let's get right into it. We have UFC Vegas, 99. Yeah, let's start it off. We got Robelis Despaingne taking on Austen Lane. Austen Lane, he's awful. If you guys are wanting to play this fight, I'd just do a ladder. Robelis Despaingne inside 30 seconds. Robelis Despaingne inside of a minute. Or like one of those two, and then you do just the Robelis Despaingne inside first round, inside second. I doubt it will go to the third, so I wouldn't even bother with the third round. But yeah, you guys can get the gist of that. I don't think Lane is going to win this fight. If he's athletic enough to get takedowns, of course, but can he consistently get takedowns? I don't know. I think Despaingne knows what he needs to work on, clearly. He's just got shown it in his last performance. I don't know how a Cuban can have such poor wrestling. I know he's a Taekwondo guy, but God, that was really rough to watch. Robelis Despaingne, I think, wins the fight early. I think he chins Lane. We'll see what happens. Lane's a big dude. He's not dumb. He knows he's got to grapple. We'll see if he can get his game plan going or if he just gets slept. Yeah, honestly, I don't really like this fight right here. This is one of those ones where it's like I don't know why Austen Lane is in the UFC, and then I see Robelis Despaingne. I'm like, oh yeah, that's why, because they need to build this guy. They need a guy for him to beat. Because Waldo Cortez Acosta, I know you could say a lot of things about that guy, but he's a decent fighter for heavyweight. And as your first fight in the UFC, that's a pretty stiff test. Second fight in the UFC, that's a pretty big test. He faced Josh Parisian. Miles Banks, the legendary Miles Banks, like you know what I mean. Like you can't really say he's done anything crazy in his career but like beating Austen Lane would be right along the lines of the guys he's beat. So I'm gonna go with Mr. Despaingne here. I think Despaingne gets it down in one. I wish this fight was going down in Spain because I could have a fun wordplay. Robelis Despaingne is going to bring the pain to Lane in Spain. But they're not in Spain, unfortunately, so it doesn't work. I do think Robelis wins, though, by TKO in the first round. Cut it there. Yeah. Moving on, we got Elise Ardelean versus Melissa Martinez. Now, I've done deep research on this fight. No, I'm lying. I haven't. But I know these girls fairly well. Melissa Martinez, volume. Going to be smaller than our Elise. She's going to be less physical. She's going to be not as good on the ground. She's a sister of David Martinez, and Dave Martinez is actually really good. She has a decent win over Desiree Yanez. I don't rate Yanez, but I think she's decent enough to show she can handle a little more physical girls. I mean, I think Ardelean's a little more physical and better than Yanez, but still, this is a close fight. For what I'm trying to say is, I would just take it easy with this one. I wouldn't even bother playing this one. Live bet it at most, because Melissa Martinez is going to look to out volume Ardelean and like she beat Yanez by a split, so that was a close fight. So honestly, I don't rate any of her wins that highly. Says she's finished girls, but like look at the girls she's finishing, like 6-6. It's 3-4. So did she fight the same girl again? No. Oh, okay. So yeah. She's not bad. She's not terrible. She's going to lift out volume. Her opponent, land the better shots. We saw Ardelean get dropped in her last fight. And, she hasn't looked, great. So I wouldn't go advocating to bet her, but I do think this is a very close fight. I'm going to lean Martinez, but it's a pass fight. Only because of volume. I think she's not as dumb as Shanna Bannon. I think Bannon has better takedown defense, which is also why I'm not touching this fight. And I think Martinez can get out-grappled by Ardelean. But I don't know if Ardelean, will initiate the grappling. I don't know what this fight will look like. It's kind of a shit show of a fight. And I don't know what to say about it other than don't bet it. And if you didn't watch this fight, you're probably not going to miss much. Maybe Martinez finishes her. I don't know. This is a skip fight for me. Moving on. We'll get on to Jessica Penne and Elise Reed. The thing about Elise Reed, she is probably one of the most hit and miss fighters, female, on the roster. 7-4. She's not a terrible fighter. She's got some skills on the feet. Her grappling is very mid. She has a win over Jasmine Jasudavicius, which is a very controversial win. She should have lost. She's much bigger than Jazz, so it is what it is. Elise Reed has some wins over girls like Melissa Martinez, Jinyu Frey, I would say Corey McKenna, but after last week, and I don't know how good that win is anymore. Honestly, I think Jessica Penne is just too old to hang with Elise Reed on the feet. If she gets Elise Reed to the ground, which I don't think she can because she doesn't have great wrestling, she's going to have to rely on her back take game and her jiu-jitsu scrambles ability. I think Elise Reed is going to be smart enough to tell her to stand up, make her work on the feet. And I do think Elise Reed, I don't know if she's found a TKO yet in her career. I think, against Hillary Rose, which is not the greatest win, but it's a win. And she's a sound fighter. She got finished by Lupita Loma. Like she's got finished in most of her fights. She hasn't fought also in a year, so she's taken time off. I think Elise Reed could come into this fight with a bunch of new skill set, a whole new skill set. Defending the takedowns, like I know her takedown defense hasn't been the best, but I think she's worked on that in her time off. Obviously, I expect ring rust, and again, it is Elise Reed, so do not bet this fight. You're dealing with a 41-year-old Jessica Penne, who is just coming to get her grappling going when she can't wrestle, and you're dealing with Elise Reed, who cannot grapple that well and is coming off a year layoff. So be careful with this fight, guys. Just play with caution. We're going through 3 women's MMA fights back to back to back, so this is really testing our degeneracy. And honestly, I just can't be bothered with betting on these 3 fights. We're about to talk about the third one, but once again, fellas, tread with caution. I would say Elise Reed, I'm more confident than the Martinez last one, but still, this is a fight I would not bet. Skill for skill, though, I do think Elise Reed might be slightly better, but it's hard to tell because Jessica Penne's age is there, and I just think her grappling is underrated. Like, it's actually very good, her jiu-jitsu. It's just her wrestling, and we'll see if Reed can disengage or she gets tangled up in Penne's web of submissions. We'll end it on that note, though. Moving on, we have Joselyne Edwards taking on Tamires Vidal. Once again, this is going to be a long half hour, 45 minutes. We're going to have to get through this, guys. We're going to get through this together, guys. I expect all these fights to go to a decision, and if there is a finish, it's going to be Penne getting a submission. Reed could... Actually, no. This fight I could see a finish. The fight we just talked about, Reed could also TKO her, but... We'll get into this fight. This fight is definitely going to a decision. Let's go with Joselyne Edwards versus Tamires Vidal. Let's go with Joselyne Edwards here. Tamires Vidal is awful. She is a striker, but she doesn't really have the greatest game. I hate saying this about women because, you can't be disrespectful, but she's a little heavier, I'll say. For guys, I can just call them fat. But for her, I'll just say heavier. And it's around her stomach area. She definitely does not do strength and conditioning. She's got finished, She got finished by a body shot to Gato, but Gato's kind of good at that, her teeps and her. So I'm not going to hold that against her, but I just think she's soft to the body, and I think she can be finished. I think Edwards' long rangey weapons, I think she can find a finish. I don't think it will happen just because Edwards doesn't seem to finish anybody, but I think Edwards is going to outpoint Tamires Vidal to a decision. I could see this Tamires Vidal getting scrappy, maybe stealing a decision with, not damage, but like forward pressure and big shots rather than the accuracy and the volume of Joselyne. I don't know with this fight. It's another fight where it's like, don't bet this fight. The only thing with this fight is they're kind of tempting you because Joselyne Edwards being negative 210 to. She's not negative 210 to many people. In this fight, I can give her a pass because she should win this fight or she should get cut from the UFC. But honestly, this is a fight I would not bet on at all just because Tamires Vidal could come in. When was the last time she fought? Earlier this year in May. So she's had a little bit of a time, not a layoff, but some time off. Yeah, I'm going to go with Joselyne Edwards here by decision. I just think Joselyne Edwards will be, I think she'll be much more hungry for a win. I know Tamires Vidal is coming off a losing streak, but Edwards is coming off, pretty close fights. Cornell should have went to her to be honest. Barely, but should have. Aileen Perez, arguable. I thought she lost, but, So it's one of those things that I don't think she's getting grappled here. And I think she's going to be the one to land the better shot. She's beat not the greatest girls. Like Pudilova, I guess, is her best win. But even then, I remember losing $7,000 on that fight. She did not win that fight. She lost that fight. I got it back. I got some money back on the Carnol fight because, I just felt like karma was due, and she got due for a robbery after doing Lucy like that. But yeah, I'm going to go with Joselyne here. I think she's just defensively sound, and she gets caught sometimes, but I don't think she's going to have to worry about that against Vidal. She's just, I don't know, she's pretty basic, if I can just say that. Moving on, we have Jean Matsumoto taking on Brad Katona. So this fight, I don't like to talk about too much just because, Brad came to our gym. He's a good guy. I like the guy. But since he isn't officially a member of our gym, I can say some things. I won't say everything because that would be disrespectful to him and the time he came at our gym. But what I will say is what everyone already knows. Brad's definitely coming to looking to wrestle. If he comes in to stand with Gene, he's gonna lose. It's just that's what's gonna happen. Not saying Katona can't strike, but there's levels to this, and Gene is gonna be chewing that calf like no one's business. The thing that I worry about here is the difference between Katona and Argueta from last week is Matsumoto can lose this because he can get out wrestled. We've seen it against Argueta. He was down 2 rounds. The thing with Matsumoto, I think he's just faced better competition and he's come out on top. Casey Tanner, much better version of
hope you've had your
much better version of Mr. Brad Katona. Katona's a seasoned vet. Yeah, I really like Katona. I think he is very, very good. He has submitted Bryce Mitchell back in the day. He is, but man, the losses. If you look at his losses, you'll see what I mean. Like, if you're gonna beat someone like John Matsumoto, you got to beat Garrett Armfield. Not that they have similar styles, but just the fact that I feel like John Matsumoto is much better than Garrett Armfield. Oh, yo, I'll call you in a bit. I'm doing a video, brother.
I need the your wallet ID thing. So just message me back.
Yeah, alright, I'll send that in like literally 5 or 10 minutes, alright? Yeah. See, you guys get the full backstage scoop. I'm a busy guy. I gotta, I gotta do what I gotta do. But yeah, Brad Katona, man, he is. Brad Katona. I don't know. I don't know what to say, because like I want to say what I think his game plan is gonna be. I want to like everyone knows it's to wrestle, but how he's gonna wrestle. But it's just like I can't, you know. I gotta just keep it a basic and let you guys know what you already know. What I think's gonna happen, I think Gene's gonna win. Honestly, personally, that's just an unbiased opinion. He doesn't, like I say, he doesn't train with us. He's only, I don't even think he did train with us once. He just came to come check out the gym. So I don't feel like I'm doing anything wrong by saying my prediction. I think Brad Katona win. I think Gene Matsumoto wins this fight. I think he is just such a good fighter, and if he gets out wrestled and out grappled, I won't be surprised. Brad's a good grappler, good control first grappler, but I worry because you're Cody Gibson. You had a war with him. That was not good. Valiev split. It's not a bad split, Jesse Butler, like I'm not worried about Katona getting submitted. I don't even think he's been finished. Well, I'm not worried. Sorry, I don't think he's going to get finished. But Hunter Azure, that's a bad loss in hindsight. I think G Matsumoto is a better fighter. I would tread carefully because he just got out wrestled. But yeah, I gotta go with Matsumoto here. I just feel like this kid is levels above Katona. But we'll see if I'm right or wrong on this fight. Moving on, we have Assu Almabayev taking on Matheus Nicolau. Now, Assu's a really good wrestler, man. He is an excellent wrestler. Yeah, he's phenomenal. I think he can train his wrestling very well. He's coming from Brave. He's got, he took both CJ and Jose to a decision, which I do not like. He submitted O'Day, who has a similar body frame. I don't know, man. I'm going to go with Almabayev by decision, but he could submit Nicolau, but I don't think it's going to happen, because if you're not submitting CJ or Jose, you're definitely not going to submit Nicolau. So I'm going to go Assu by decision. I do think Assu is he's technically superior grappling wise. He holds positions better. He knows how to find good positions to strike. The thing with Assu that worries me is the level of competition. He is coming from fighting who? He's fought some decent guys in Brave, okay. But if you look, most of them aren't great. And, he's going to splits with some guys. I don't know what to say. Like, he's a good fighter, but this is a show me spot. So I'm going to say Assu wins this fight, but I think the price is a bit wide. I think Nicolau has a real shot of winning this fight. I'm not touching this fight personally. Like I said, it's a show me spot for Assu. We'll see what happens. If Assu can't get his grappling game going, it's going to be a very close fight on the feet. Also, we got to take into account Nicolau has a terrible chin, so Almabayev could find a submission. I'm going to go with Assu Almabayev here, and I'm going to have him winning by... I have him winning by decision. I just don't think he's submitting him or TKOing him. I don't think. Maybe he has the power. I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. He could TKO him, guys. If you see a wide line, like 20-1, something like that, even 10-1, I might sprinkle on that. But yeah, I got Assu Almabayev in this spot. Moving on. We have Darren the Damage Elkins taking on Daniel Pineda. Daniel Pineda's very old. Darren Elkins, very old. The thing with both of them is their grappling's very good. Well, Daniel's is good for a round. He's a dog. He's gonna stay in there and fight, but he's been TKO'd by Cub Swanson. He's been TKO'd a few times in his career. I don't think Elkins is going to, unless he gasses him out and just punches him to a finish with ground and pound. But I do think Pineda is definitely live to get a finish in round 1, like via TKO or however. I think Elkins has very underrated grappling. I think he's going to out-grapple Pineda for 2 to 3 rounds, potentially getting a finish in rounds 2 or 3. So I'm going to go with actually Elkins here by submission, round 2 or 3. But it is a fight I have no interest in betting in. We have Pineda, who honestly, he's a former drug abuser, like steroid abuser. He lost to Alex Caceres. He lost to Nathaniel Wood. These aren't bad losses, but he submitted Tucker Lutz, so it's like he's shown things, that he can be dangerous. I have no interest in betting this fight. Both guys, again, are old, and they're coming in with theoretically nothing to lose. I don't know. I just think Elkins has more in the tank than Pineda. And I think his grappling game is going to be taxing on Pineda. I think he's going to wear on him with the hanging off of him, and his decent mat returns, double legs, cage wrestling, his top game, his back attacks. I think Darren Elkins is going to be a problem here for Pineda in the second and third round. But honestly, I don't think this is a fight you got to overthink too much. If Pineda doesn't get the finish in round 1, he's going to be in for a long night. But yeah, definitely a skip fight for me. Too many ifs. But yeah, moving on. We have Brady Heistand versus Jake Hadley. Holy, this is a tricky one. Now, I really want to say Bradley, he said, is too big for Hadley, and he was just going to out-grapple him. But I thought that about the guy Hadley fought last. I thought fighting Colin Loughran would be, a big ball of muscle. He's not going to be able to get him off of him. But boy, was I wrong. Jake Hadley's actually a decently sized bantamweight. He's not big or any means. He's still small for the weight class, but he can hold his own, and his jiu-jitsu's pretty solid. I think the guy's going to put up a good performance here. I'm really torn on this one. I lean Hadley, but if you were to tell me that, he just got big brothered by Heistand, I wouldn't be surprised, because the size difference must be huge. Just looking at it here. Yeah, I just think Hadley is the more skilled fighter. On the feet by far. I think he's going to tune up Brady on the feet, work the body. I think this guy is far more talented than Brady. Brady has just good grappling, good toughness, he comes on late. The thing about Jake Hadley is he hasn't... Again, this is his second fight at bantamweight. He's not depleting himself to get to 125, but he's also not giving up not getting a lot of size on his opponents. His opponents are kind of mogging him a lot of the time, and I think especially in this situation with how big of a bantamweight Heistand is, I gotta go with Hadley just off his skill. But I would not be surprised if Heistand just comes in there and big brothers him, because this is how it is, and size matters. But we'll see if it matters in this fight. Moving on, we have Sumudaerji versus Charles Energy Johnson. Now I gotta root for my boy Energy. Do I think he's gonna win? Yeah. But it all depends on what game plan he comes out with. If he comes out looking to strike with Sumudaerji, I think this could be a very long night if he doesn't gas him out in the third round. I think Sumudaerji could strike with Charles Johnson for 15 minutes if need be. Sumudaerji has very, very long, rangy weapons. Kind of karate style with the way he strikes. Charles Johnson has low, which could be bad with the, I just see a potential upset where Sumudaerji lands a big head kick or something. I think Johnson has to keep his P's and Q's. He's a smart fighter. He's just a little too cocky sometimes, and sometimes he lets rounds get away from him, and I think Sumudaerji could steal rounds here, but I'm going to go with energy here. The price is definitely a clear sign for me not to bet this fight. I think negative 200 on Charles Johnson is not a great option. I just feel like he doesn't cover the price the way he fights. It's very he's like almost dictates. He lets you dictate the pace, and then he turns it out randomly when he feels like it. I don't know. Charles Johnson's a funky dude to fight. I think the size difference will be real. When was the last time he's fought someone like his size or bigger? If I can just look here. Zat Maxim, he beat him, so I think there's someone somewhat similar. Yeah, I don't know anybody else, but that's the only name I see on his record that I guess is somewhat similar, but we'll see how this fight plays out. Charles Johnson by sub was a very intriguing play. That's probably the easiest path to victory for Johnson. We'll see if he can follow through with that. He's got some pretty underrated submissions. He just doesn't hit them a lot. So, yeah, definitely a fight where I'm going to be looking to props. And, we'll see how it plays out. Moving on, we have Kyler Phillips taking on Rob Font. Rob Font is another one where it's like he's pretty washed up. His chin is not gone, but it's just not the same as it once was. He doesn't do well with takedowns. His whole team doesn't do well with takedowns. And Kyler Phillips is a Matrix hybrid style where he can do everything. Very bouncy on his feet. Lots of wheel spinning kicks and fancy kicks and flips. And I think Phillips is very, very... I think it's cool how they have Phillips as a co-main and Michel Pereira as the main event. They're both two very dynamic fighters. I think Phillips wins this, but negative 450 against a former, top, I think he still is top 10, top 15 bantamweight. If you're telling me he's negative 450 against Rob Font 2 or 3 years ago, I would laugh. Do I think Phillips wins? Yeah, 2-1. I think the odds are a little crazy. I think they're disrespecting Rob Font. I think on the feet it's pretty close. I think Rob's a little slow for Phillips, but I don't know how sustainable that bouncy style is against a nice heavy boxing style. I think Phillips should cruise here, but you never know. It's bantamweight. I also thought Arian Yanez would beat Rob Font. I know Phillips, in my opinion, is a little bit better, or much better, and he's also training at MMA Lab with the beautiful formulas they're cooking up over there. I gotta go with the Phillips here. I think he wins this fight by decision. Maybe he makes a statement in this fight, but I doubt it. I gotta go with Phillips here. Moving on, we have Michel Pereira versus Anthony Fluffy Hernandez. Fluffy, man, I don't know what to say other than I don't like this fight for you. Unless it goes past the first round. If this can get extended, I'm all over Fluffy. Live betting button is going to be ready like a monkey on a keyboard. But the thing about this fight that you guys have to understand, Michel is dangerous. He's not some bum training in Brazil anymore, doing flips for fun. I don't think I've seen him do a flip or anything like that in the longest time. This guy is all business. Coming in, training with Strickland, training with guys in Extreme, doing the right things. I know Fluffy's style is grueling and taxing on the cardio, and I know it's 5 rounds, but unless this fight gets extended, I don't see Hernandez winning this fight. Will I bet this fight? No, because betting on a guy who's round 1 or bust is usually not a good idea. But I'm going to go with Michel Pereira here. It's not a confident pick. I just think Pereira is on a roll right now. He's very, very eccentric. Everyone's vibing with him right now. I think he's finally feeling comfortable in his own skin. Hernandez is too, but he's too Homer Simpson-like for me. Like, he just takes too much damage. He gets hit too much, and if you're getting hit by Pereira, I've already seen you get finished to the body before by Holland. I can see it happening again. I'm going to go Pereira here. Not a confident pick. I'm rooting for Fluffy. We just need some... well, actually, I don't know who I'm rooting for, because as a fan, I'm rooting. I like both of them for different reasons, but as a person, I'm definitely rooting for Fluffy. So, I'm sure Michel's a good guy too, but Fluffy's my guy. I gotta root for Fluffy. But yeah, my pick is Michel Pereira here. Not a confident pick, but it's a pick. Sure you guys are tired of listening to me, so I'll give you guys my top 5 most confident predictions. Number 1, Matsumoto. Number 2, Almabayev. Number 3, Despaingne. Number 4, Charles Energy Johnson. Number 5, Number 5. Damn, where's... Do I have it here? Whatever. Number 5 will be Joselyne Edwards. Alrighty, guys. Like, subscribe. You know the drill. I'll catch you next time. Peace.